Residence and stuff and things. Our unit theme is residence, and our objective: consider how a residence affects a life and how artists can address the concept of residence through their art. An essential question: how can I make art that addresses the topic of residence? Well, what is residence? When you think of residence, you probably think of this. Here's my house. Here's my house. It's my residence. It's where I live. Here's my first floor and my second floor. Actually, it's not my house. It's Henry's house. But that's where he lives, and it's his residence. This is really my house. It's a small house. And that's what you think of when you think of residence. Probably the first thing that comes to mind. Where's your residence? Where do you live? You might live in a house. Some people don't live in a house. This little old lady, she lived in a shoe, and she had all these children. Anyway, that was her residence. They all took a residence in a shoe. In the summertime, I go to Massachusetts and I work at the College of Art and Design, and the residency is this place right here. This is actually the dorm hall. It's called the Treehouse, I guess because it's supposed to look like a treehouse. And I reside there for about a week every year when I teach. And it is called the Treehouse, but that's not really a treehouse. This is a treehouse, and you think someone lives in that tree. Who would live in that tree? Who would take up residency? Probably this guy. I know him where I'm going, to my home. Know him. Anywho. Birds live in a tree, and they might not even have a residence, but they still take up residency. Like here, they might take up residency in a graveyard because they're creepy looking, scary birds. I don't know. Where is the residence that you're considering? What if you were a mouse? Where would you live? You live in a wall. That would take up residence in the wall. And maybe somebody else wouldn't like that. Maybe someone would want to try to get you out of there. Like, check out this cat. He's looking into the residence. What a peeping Tom. Don't look at my house, cat. He's thinking about eating them. You know what eats a cat? Oh, this guy, he's a big bad wolf, Alexi, actually, and he actually just lives in our imagination in a book. But he wants to eat somebody too who also lives in a residency. Who would a big bad wolf eat? A little pig. But it's okay because he has a residence too, and his residence is made out of brick, so he's in good shape. There's lots of types of residence. You just have to keep thinking about it. Like, back to the dog for a minute. Fleas could take up residence on a dog. Like, the fleas live on the dog. That's where they live. They live on the dogs. And also heartworm and ticks and all these other terrible things. Ear mites. Oh, this dog's in big trouble. He needs to go to the vet. Anyway, back to residence. You could live in a pineapple under the sea. And that's a really fun, happy place. Or you could be stuck in a cage like these sad lions right here. Residence could have a lot of different meanings of where you live and how it affects your life. And that's what artists do by capturing those feelings and emotions. Maybe when you die, you just take up residency in a museum like this T-Rex right here. You see, residence has a lot of different meanings. So what I want you to do is consider how residence affects a life. I want you to select the type of residence that you want to address, and I want you to create a work of art that addresses that concept of residence. All right, let's go make some art.